What up, man? This is Sugi Khan, obviously, and today we will be returning into the world of the MOBAs once again. And don't get me wrong, just because our latest videos doesn't mean that the MOBA content is over, none at all. It just has been very, very quiet on the MOBA scene. Not a lot of new games coming out, to be honest. Arena of Faith, for example, was closed down. Well, Crytek didn't end up paying people working on the game, and then they ended up going independent, and we haven't really heard anything about Master X Master new closed beta or open beta dates, and there hasn't been really any other new games except coming for tablets and phones, which I don't play. I really don't like playing on tablets and phones because you can't really type while you're playing. Obviously, I don't like touching the screen all the time. Then there's the battery problems and connection problems. I just don't prefer playing on phones and like tablets as a whole. And I prefer just playing on PC or handheld console or just a console or controller and keyboard mouse. I think that's the best way to play games, especially MOBAs. Some strategy games really work well on tablets, or card games, but essentially everything outside that, I think it's just suboptimal compared to consoles and PC. But there is this new MOBA coming out from Nexon called Hyper Universe. And I had the chance to today, thanks to my friend Akio for lending me Nexon Korean account. So let's be straight, this is a Korean server and you can see a bit of a lag. I think I probably played on 200, 150 ping probably on the server. But this game will be featured, an English Western version of this game will be featured at PAX South. I think that's in this month. Supposedly I'm going to have the right date on the screen, but definitely you can try it out there. It's a very interesting concept, and I can say it's unique. It is very similar to the game Awesome Knots, and Awesome Knots was a game that is actually pretty good, but the game always suffered from pretty bad servers, and it was so badly fucking balanced. And the developers are still making the game, and I think it is a good community. Also, the problem is it's not free to play. And Hyper Universe kind of fixes all those three things. And I think Awesome Knots pretty much had like 3 different levels, in climbing. In this one, you don't jump through platforms, you go through the stairs. So jumping element in this game has a different purpose, and the way you shoot in this game also are in straight in a line. So it has a lot of differences in how the game works out from each other, so they're different. And then you have an item system, which essentially is a loadout. Seems to be a bit of a Korean element that they like to use. That was the same thing on Master X Master as well, and Core Masters, which are all Korean games, and they all share this same loadout thing, and that's where the customization comes out. I do like the character designs. It's the same thing in Core Masters and Master X Master. They just are very, very good creating characters with big tits, and well, I think just the male characters and everything just kind of cool, anime influenced styles, but very original and very unique. I like them a lot, and obviously some of them do fill some of the stereotypes, but I think they're like really cool, and I do enjoy the styles. I haven't really tried that many characters in the game. I kind of had like a pretty brief experience, so this is kind of my first impressions on the game. You have ranged and melee characters, obviously. I think the whole cast is around 20 characters at the moment, and I think the Nexon, the way they're using is that they may have like some borrowed characters from other series. So as of new Power Rangers movie coming out next month, I think you have a Power Rangers character in this one, but they're actually not called Power Rangers in Japan. The name just is slipping my tongue right now, because the way it works actually is that they do the footage on Japan and then they sell it to America. Those who are not familiar how Power Rangers works, actually that's how they're done. They actually film almost every of the city scenes and the big fighting scenes in Japan, and rest of the actual scenes are like the American characters are essentially like, well, you can fucking look it up, guys, but you probably know what I mean. And I think based on what I was playing on the ping and everything, taking that accord, I think the game does feel smooth, and really the controls are very. So this is the thing, the game doesn't use mouse, or you can bind buttons to mouse. The control scheme is very, very problematic, because I actually can't use the arrow keys with WASD having my right arm on the arrow key, so I always kind of have my hands on a cross, and that is very displeasing way to play for me. So I had to like remap, so I would have the movement on WASD and then have essentially all the controls in numpad, and even that is not probably the best, and I would have to really pretty much like tweak some of the controls in the game to actually feel very fluid. And I have to say that's something that totally I personally need to get used to, and it's anecdotal obviously to myself, but the game does have very good graphics. The gameplay is easy to learn. You have the towers and how they work, and minion waves, and then you have neutral creeps. There's nothing like very unique or superly new elements inside the game, outside from the fact that it's 2D, which gives you a totally different way to play it. The game modes are 4v versus 4. I think there are some single player type of things which might have like some type of like missions and stuff. That's something also that Core Masters and Master X Master has, so they have a single player component in the game. I guess that's to bring variety to the game, and maybe casuals are more into the PvE element of the game. And there seems to be like data logging things and like, you know, collectibles. There's obviously skins in the game which you can buy. It does look very promising actually, but it's hard to really say because the experience wasn't really nice on playing on high ping. So playing it on English and playing it on with a reasonable ping that is below 100 hopefully will give me a better perspective on is the game good or not. I think it has potential. I think graphics and everything is there, but as history have, you know, proven itself when it comes to importing games from Korea to West, the publishers just have shit the bed immensely, really badly. That happened with Core Masters, that happened, well, we could almost put Master X Master on the same category right now. These releases on West have not been very successful. But if they manage to get perhaps, well, they're actually going to Nexon, that's already set in stone. But I think it could be successful. I think there's definitely an audience for anime-styled games in the West. The weeboos, like I do, love it. They like this graphical style, but it just has been that the accessibility hasn't really been there, and it might compete really with Master X Master if that comes out also. They're different games, and I think this will have a different appeal. And I'm not really big on side-scroller games in general. I think always a bit of a cheap, and unless they're platforms. I do like platform games a lot. But I definitely think it does have potential. I did mention that, but we will see how the Western release will go. And I think you can already sign up for beta already, and you can check out the trailers and everything. And with the licenses and everything, I think it will be interesting to see if they will add other characters from other Nexon IPs. But stay tuned for more. I probably will do another first impressions or first look of the English version when it comes out, or some type of a beta review. And stay tuned if you want to see more MOBA content. Obviously subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.